So a leaked picture has been going around on Doctor Who Twitter purporting to be the new design for the Seadevils in the Doctor Who spin-off The War Between the Land and the Sea. For those that don't want to see the picture, look away now, this is it. And people are, I would say, annoyed, maybe, don't like the new design, think that the previous design we had was perfectly fine. And we will talk about that, but more importantly, I want to talk about the fact that this might not be a Seadevil, at least maybe not in the traditional sense, and maybe not at all. I have a few ideas that might mean people are slightly overreacting and this isn't even a Seadevil. Let's get into it. Hi, welcome to Culture Filter. I am Phil, and this is where I talk about all the geeky pop culture that I like and consume, including a lot of Doctor Who stuff. So I talk about it all the time. If you like Doctor Who, do hit that subscribe button down below, because there'll be lots of videos from me. Now, in the future, check out the back catalogue, loads of videos about Doctor Who. Now, we're talking today a bit of kind of breaking news, well, I say breaking, I'm a little late to this. There's, last night in fact, there was an image released on Twitter from somebody who was at one of the filming locations and took a picture of a creature running across a bridge. And it looks, admittedly, like quite an aquatic-like creature. So, given that we know that the Seadevils are involved in this spin-off that is filming, the assumption is, therefore by a lot of people, that this is a new design for the Seadevils. And if that is true, it is quite a radical redesign from what we had previously. It's only been a few years since the Seadevils last appeared in the show in The Legend of the Seadevils in, was it 2022, I think? Back then, they kind of used basically the classic design, but, you know, new costumes made with newer techniques. But it was effectively a very slight tweak and a slight update on the classic design. With all the flaws of that episode, that was one of the good things about it. And I think a lot of people appreciated that. However, this is radically different if it is a Seadevil. But I think it might not be. And there are a couple of options for this that I won't take full credit for. So I saw people talking about them on Twitter and I thought they were great ideas, and so I thought I would put them to you. The first one is that this could be a Seadevil, but not like we know them. Maybe it's some kind of Seadevil human hybrid. And that could possibly be the ignition for a war against the species, possibly. They're kind of like one side or the other can't quite cope with this hybrid thing, so or maybe it'll be the thing that solves the crisis and solves the war in the end. There are various ways they could go with that. And, you know, this is certainly a design that, from the blurry image we've got, certainly looks a lot more humanoid than the Seadevils are traditionally, so that would make sense. That it could be, indeed, some kind of hybrid creature. Whether that's one born out of love between a human and a Seadevil, maybe our two lead characters, perhaps, or maybe it's grown in a genetic lab type thing, who knows. But that's one possibility, but I do want to talk about another one. This is the war between the land and the sea, not the war between the land and the Seadevils, specifically in the title, at least. So we don't know how encompassing this is, and the Seadevils are not the only creatures from Doctor Who history that live in the sea. In particular here, I'm thinking of the fish people from the 1960s episode The Underwater Menace. They lived around the city of Atlantis, and actually, you know, if you compare designs, especially the design from the slight redesign we had in the animated version, the animated reconstruction version, where they slightly redesigned the fish people, that design in particular bears quite a striking similarity to what we get in this image. So one idea is that possibly this is an update for the fish people and not the Silurians. Because if we've got a war between the land and the sea, maybe it's not just the Seadevils, but also all creatures from the sea, all sentient creatures that live in the sea. I don't know if there are any more, there probably are. I didn't look it up, I didn't research it before I did this video because it's quite an off-the-cuff video, but there are at least those two species that live in the sea. The Underwater Menace was set in the 1970s, and I don't think the fish people were wiped out or anything at the end of that story, so there's no reason to think they don't continue to exist somewhere in our oceans by 50 years later. So do they team up with the Seadevils in order to attack the land? That's a possibility, and I think it's a strong one, especially considering the similarities between the designs. I'm going to give the production team a bit of credit here, and hopefully they haven't gone for a complete random redesign of the Seadevils that looks nothing like the originals. We kind of had that with the Silurians in Series 5 back in 2010. I hope they haven't done that here after they so well brought the classic design to the modern series only a few years ago. Yes, there were some flaws with that, you know, facial movements, maybe they want to do a bit more with that. I'm not saying they shouldn't tweak that design slightly, but I definitely think they should use that classic design updated and maybe updated a little bit again, but keep the general aesthetic of the shape of the faces and everything for the new design for the Seadevils. I hope they've done that, and that I'm right here and that this is indeed a fish person. What do you think? Do you think there's a chance of this happening? I think it's quite a high likelihood, because it just the similarity is just too much for me to even think about, unless they're going to go down a route of saying, well, actually the fish people are Seadevils, they're just a different offshoot of them. They might go down that route as well, I suppose, which is kind of a halfway house between the good solution and the bad solution, I think. The bad solution being completely redesigning them. But we'll see what they do. I don't want to judge it too quickly on a blurry photo that we don't have any information about, and we're just guessing because we know the Seadevils are involved. I think this isn't a Seadevil. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be back with more Doctor Who news, reviews, lore videos and all of that sort of stuff soon, so please do subscribe down below. And why not click on this video right here for more exciting Doctor Who content from me.